Hey everybody, what is going on? Serial Overdrive here, and today I'm playing Rust. What I'm going to be doing today is going into basic beginner base design. So for this base, or what we're designing here, we're going to be designing a 2x1 base. That's basically just two squares with a little triangle on the side for an airlock. I'm going to explain all that as we go. I'm going to try and fit as much information into as small of a sort of video as possible. So let's just dive right into it. First things first, find a good area. You want to be away from any monuments or anything like that, but still near some nodes. So somewhere near like the mountains is usually pretty good, but use your best judgment. Whatever server you're playing on, this is going to hold true for everything. For those of you guys looking, I'm playing on a modded server. I'm not cheating or anything like that. I just did this to make everything go faster. So put your base design like this, right? You're going to have two squares and you're going to have one triangle. The triangle is going to serve as an airlock, and the squares are just basically going to be your main base area. So put some walls around that. They're going to all be made out of twig right now, but you want to upgrade to stone as soon as possible. The reason you want to do this is because twig or even wood is super easy to knock down. So I've got a twig base here. I'm going to put down a tool cupboard. This is going to keep the base from decaying. That tool cupboard is going to be filled with resources. When it's filled with resources, that's going to keep your base from decaying. You're going to see up here in the right-hand bar, I have that thing that says base decaying. That means that my base is falling apart on me. If I leave it like this for too long, everything's going to fall apart, and I'm sort of screwed. Now, before you get to stocking up resources, create your door, okay, and your locks. You're going to just put a door down, you're going to put a lock on that door, and you're going to lock that lock. You don't need to make a key or anything like that. If you are the person who put down the door and put on that key lock, you can open it. You don't need a key. Do not create a key. If you create a key, someone's going to kill you and break into your base. Once you've done that, you're going to want to lay down some furnaces. This is what you're going to use to refine everything. And what you're going to do when you refine stuff is use that to create metal fragments. Those metal fragments are going to create a better door. Lay down a sleeping bag anywhere in the base. You can pick that up, so it doesn't really matter. Put some stuff in your tool cupboard, lock your tool cupboard up, and now you're good to go. You've got a basic base. It's going to look something like this. Also note that this wood door is on backwards. I was doing it in a hurry and forgot to put it on the right way, but we're going to jump right ahead to a metal door, so it doesn't matter. This is what your base is going to look like. It's a pretty basic looking base. People who walk by are probably not going to bother to break into it because you're pretty new, right? Like wood doors and a 2x1, there's not much loot in there. One thing to keep in mind now, if you do log off, anyone with a flamethrower or sort of a low tier weapon and a lot of time can break into the space. These wood doors are extremely easy to break through. So what you're going to want to do is take off these wood doors and put on metal doors ASAP. To do this, you unlock your door, open your door, and then you can pick up that lock. Once you have your lock picked up, you can go ahead and pick up this wood door. This is something a lot of people don't know, and it's super important to do this because you want to upgrade your doors as fast as possible. Once you've picked up your door, obviously put on your new door and lock it. Do that for the other door too. You're going to be upgrading to sheet metal doors ASAP. Like these are the doors I'm putting on now. Those doors are a lot harder to break through, and once you've got that in, your base can no longer be taken out by fire. Next up, drop some containers to store your loot in. You're going to want to make sure those are sort of as close to that edge of the wall as possible. That's just going to give you space, so if you ever want to, you can put in another thing, okay? Also, you can pick up these boxes, so don't think that whatever you put down has to stay there. Once you've done that, I'd recommend putting on a double door. This sort of locks away your loot, so then even if someone does break through those two doors, they've got one more door to go through. So at this point, what we've got is we've got a tool cupboard, we've got a loot box. That's all in one room behind three doors, two sort of single doors and one double door. The double door is going to take a lot of resources to break down, so you're pretty good here. Once you've got that done, you want to drop down a workbench. That's going to be inside your base. The workbench inside your base, that's where you're upgrading, doing research, creating stuff. After this, you're going to want to put down a research bench. That can go outside of your base. You're just going to be using that to research things that you find to get the blueprints for them. Put it pretty close to your base so you can reach it from a door. You can pick this thing up, so it doesn't matter, but your goal here is basically have a research table super close to your door so you can just open your door, research, and then close it again. If someone tries to shoot you, if someone's camping you, you're still good to go. You just close the door and you're safe. I'm going to move the research bench back at this point just so I can keep going on with this tutorial, but just, keep it there. Now, After you've done all this, you're going to want to honeycomb your base. Honeycomb means putting these triangle pieces onto your base. You're going to put walls around the triangle pieces, and what happens here is now it is super hard for anyone to break through a wall and just get right into your loot room. This base design is well known to everybody, so anyone knows where your tool cupboard is, and once they get control of your tool cupboard, they can sort of take their time breaking apart your base. Also, that's where all your loot is, so it's going to be super easy for someone to raid you because they can just blow through a wall instead of the doors. By putting these honeycombs on, it makes it way, way, way harder for someone to break through. While you're doing this, keep in mind that you want your walls to be facing outward like I just did. If your walls are facing inward, if you can see that super white part of your wall when they're stone, that means that your inside, your soft side is facing out, and someone can just take that out with a melee weapon if they've got enough time. Be careful, because a lot of people a lot of people's bases get taken down because of this. Anyways, now we've got the base of the honeycomb, and we want to put that top part on. So we're going to just put a half wall down. And on this half wall, this is just going to go around that main part of your base. At this point, anyone who's looking at your base is going to know exactly where your tool cupboard is, exactly where your loot room is. So just fortify it as much as possible. What we're going for here is a base that's going to be a little bit harder to break into, but still, it's still obvious where everything is. You're not confusing anyone with this. There's tons of people on the server who can break into your base. You just want to make it hard enough so that they don't bother. Right here, looking at this as a Rust player, you're going to say, okay, well, they've got a 2x1 room. It doesn't have that much loot. It's going to take a little bit of stuff to break into. It's just not worth my time. And there you go. That's your basic base right there. You got your metal doors. You got stone foundations around everything. You're good to go. If you're really worried about someone breaking in, they're most likely going to do it through the doors. But if you're thinking, hey, I'm going to upgrade these doors, I'm going to put in a garage door or something like that, you're going to want to upgrade that main loot room. So just, you can go in there and upgrade everything to metal fragments. You should be fine. If you upgrade to heavy metal, you're even better off. But still, the doors are generally considered to be the weak point, so always keep that in mind. There's a lot of calculations, a lot of stuff that other videos are going to go into. I'm not going to bother with that because I feel like that makes everything too complicated. Anyways, hopefully this makes sense to you guys. If you have questions, comments, anything like that, feel free to leave them down below. And at this point, I'm just going to end the video here because I think I've just dumped enough knowledge on you guys to at least get started in Rust. So until next time, peace.